Hello, welcome to Once Driven Forever Smitten. Behind me is my Cadillac BLS, which is based on the Saab 9.3 Aero 2.8 V6 turbo Z28 net engine. Bought it in the summer of 2023, only paid a couple of grand for it with 59,000 miles. It's did a few jobs on it. Hello Danny. And at the end of summer it came up with having a gearbox fault on the dash. So I just parked it up for the winter, and coming back to look at it now, this video goes into the investigation of that gearbox fault, and we also changed the alternator because it turned out that the car was not charging. Now, this is just one of the two Swedish cars that I've got, the first one being the Saab 9.5 Aero 2.3 turbo estate, which is a much more iconic and well-known Swedish car. These of course were the only Cadillacs that weren't sold in America, so they are quite unusual. A lot of people don't even know what kind of car it is, but I think it's a great thing. It was cheap to buy, although it's expensive to tax, but it goes well. So we'll crack on with the video now, where we have a look into the gearbox issue and change the alternator. The other Swede, Cadillac BLS 2.8 V6 turbo, 255 horsepower, 6-speed automatic. As we know, this thing has chucked on its management light and coming up performance restricted gearbox fault. We've checked it and it says that the transmission module is not present. Now that's down there on the top of the gearbox. It's quite a common thing. It's used in a lot of different makes of cars because it's actually a Toyota gearbox that's in this. What else is happening though is the alternator is not charging. Now I think that the fault with this is probably down to the alternator not charging, because even though it says the module is there, it still goes into gear and it still changes gear. So if that module was actually dead, then it wouldn't do anything. There you go, limited performance straight away. I think that's because of an open circuit in the alternator. I may be wrong, but this is such a lovely car inside. Just ignore that for now. That is so nice, this. It was based on a Saab 9.3. Now, obviously we've had the computer on it and it says that the module is no longer paired with the car. Now that could be an issue. There's a battery warning come on there because it's not charging. That could be an issue because the Tech 2 requires security access to be able to repair the module. And because this is the only Cadillac built in Europe, the Saab Tech 2 program doesn't go into it. You need the program from Cadillac, which I do have for the Tech 2, but I don't have the global TIS program. So I'm going to hope that a new alternator is going to put that light out, because it does go into gear, does still change gear, and if that ECU, that module was actually dead, then it wouldn't do that, would it? So I think that's actually alright. I mean, 62,800 miles in the thing. I mean, come on. So we've got two Swedes and two sets of problems to deal with. We've got ABS rings and a tensioner to put in the Saab, and we've got our alternator to put on this. And hopefully with it getting a good 14 volts, it will actually recognise that that's there. I'm not sure though. I don't think it's a broken wire. It hasn't done that many miles, and I've checked all the wiring plugs and everything. There's no corrosion in anything anywhere on this. It's not a hard life, so we'll just have to see. Good thing is I've got everything in stock. We've got two ABS rings for the Saab, and we've also got a idler pulley, or that's a tensioner pulley, sorry, and we've got a drive belt for the Cadillac here. Now this is a genuine Bosch alternator I got off eBay, which is 150 quid. Some of the alternators were listed for anywhere between 350 to 500 for these, so a brand new genuine Bosch, so that was a really good deal, that. But now we've got to jack it up and get the alternator into it, and you need to pull the drive shaft on it because, you know, there's just not enough space to get into the thing. Ugh. Cadillac's in the air. I'm going to take the wheel off it and see if I need to take the inner shafts. Hopefully not. quite surprised at how heavily it's worn the very edge off that tyre to get the tracking looked at, I guess, because I bought these part one, but they're still a decent bit of tread on them. Yeah. Now I believe the drive shaft has to come out to get the alternator out, just the outer part of the drive shaft, so we're going to have to split this off here. Yeah. That's the airbox out. Looks like to access the belt I've got to take all this big mounting assembly off of here. Great. It's got like 3 bolts going in the way in there, and the aircon pipes are in the way of that one. Is it 3? It can only be 3, and this is one hiding in there. Oh well, let's just start unbolting. Not much space to get these 318s out. I need to take this one out with a spanner, that one in there. There was only just enough space to get the 3/8 bar into there. The one at the end should be alright, but we need to get this off to get to the top of the belt and the tensioner. So I've got an axle, I've got a jack underneath the engine to support it because it will fall down when this comes out. There we go. That took a little while, but yeah, that had to come out. There's that part there, and there's a mount that goes onto the wing. We had to get into there to get to this tensioner. What's our belt like? Yeah, it's cracking a little bit here. This was due to be replaced. And gasket sticking out there. Interesting. Maybe it's had a water pump on it. Anyway, we can now go and get the bar in there and take this belt off. I don't have the right tool to get in there, so I've got a bar on the engine, canting it over so I can get this in here. What way does let me take the tension off the belt. That way. Oh, phew. There's a bit of tension on that. That's the belt off anyway. Yeah, interestingly that belt's still got us all its writing on it, so from the outside it would look fresh, but full of cracks on the inside, so it was due to get changed. Not the easiest thing to do, so handy while the alternator's off. Right, now we've got the drive shaft to investigate. Right, drive shaft nuts off, that was a 32mm. Now I've got the pinch bolt underneath. I'm just giving it a bit of a soak with some Bulldog BDX. Hopefully we can punch this out without too much difficulty. Nice, didn't need to punch the pinch bolt. It wound out okay, which is good. Now we need to get the bottom ball joint to separate. Yeah, that's pretty easy. That's the drive shaft out. Get on the alternator now. Yeah, is there going to be enough space for that to drop out of there? According to the internet there is. Hopefully the anti-roll bar's not in the way. So I'll look at where I get the bolts to it as well. Just extracted the alternator, which took a bit of doing. I've had to drop the subframe. One alternator, Bosch 155. Well, that's what we've got for it anyway, so. Thing is with these things, but I mean I suppose it is 15, 16 years old now, this thing anyway, and the amount of heat that's generated in these engine bays doesn't do components like this any good. I will be unimpressed if I go and fit the new one and none happens. I mean, you can replace just the alternator regulators inside them as well, but with the hassle it takes to get into the thing, I thought I'd rather just do the whole lot. The fight to get the other thing in now, psych myself up to do it. And before I have a lot of sweat and toil to get the thing back in, it is definitely the correct thing. It is the same. 155 amps, 14 volts. Not going to be fun getting it back in, but you know, it'll go eventually. Alternator is in, just need to tighten the bolts up. It wasn't as bad as I thought because I've got the subframe slack and the engine's detached at one side as well, so it kind of allows me to shove the engine over to get some more space. I can't do this one-handed. Alternator installed. Now to do the drive belt. What's this? 2122. What was this again, out of interest? .212, that's fine, 2 mil of a difference. Drive belt on. A little bit tricky to get it round that tensioner, but not too bad. In fact, it's sitting over there a bit. I need to go and move that. I've just fired it up. We've still got limited performance on the dash. Don't know if I might have to clear that fault code, but we had no charge and we've now got 14.15 volts, so the alternator's definitely fixed, so that's something. So we still have our gearbox fault. The VIN number isn't coming up in the Tech 2, so I don't know if it's somehow lost it with the alternator fault or something. Yeah, because that should say the VIN number of the car there, but it doesn't. And of course it comes up. It comes up and says module not added, but it does still change gear, so I don't know. It's a weird one. What? Battery not charging? How? It's got a new alternator on it. Eh? I went and got the voltmeter and checked it, and it was at 14 volts and the thing had gone back out again. That is a bit of exhaust heat shield. Right, the thing is, how can it not recognise the module but it changes gear okay? Oh, discs are rusty. Oh, for goodness sakes. See what it's going to do. I mean, it's changing up gear, I don't know. That's it in manual, it's in 5th, 4th, 5th, 6th. So I mean, I don't know. The actuator's probably seized because it's been sitting. I forgot how quiet this car is. I'm going to left foot brake it a bit, see if I can clean the discs off a bit. This car's slowing down here. We're in 3rd, I've got it in manual mode. Well, it says limited performance, but I mean, it's not like it's in limp mode. I mean, it's got a bit of something about it. It was doing like 120 there. I mean, it should be able to go into 155 this, but we don't have that much road. See what happens if I just floor it here. $60. 90. That doesn't seem to me like it's limited performance. This Volkswagen's taking off now because I shot up his arse. I mean, I don't know, that's it in 6th gear. It's changing, it's kicking down, it's changing up. It's doing everything the automatic gearbox is supposed to, but the diagnostics is telling us that the transmission control module isn't added. Go figure. That appears to be charging again fine. I did remember I didn't actually tighten the battery terminals up, so it might have been that. And also the battery isn't actually secured at the moment. All the trim's in the boot, and all the glove box is there as well. From my rummaging and investigating. So I don't know. I mean, it seems alright. I could just go gearbox malfunction, limited performance. Lies! Choke on your lies. Do not choke on your lies. Ah, I forgot how good this car is. Yeah, this is a weird one. Right, he's slowing down again. Kick down. Whoa, God, this thing goes like a rocket. There's nothing wrong with it. Ah well, at least it's driving, at least it's usable as far as I can tell. I'll have to get the brakes sorted and get an MOT on it. Kinda smells hot now. Knocked the rust off the brake discs though. They are shocking in the front, are like soot balls as well. Yeah. Anyway, just as a note, these are 18-inch wheels on the Cadillac, and it's got some Bridgestone all-season tyres on them that I bought part one for a good price. They do appear to be slightly buckled though, so as an option I've got the Astra Coupe TSW wheels, which have hardly had any use, and I have these tyres to go on them. These are 17s, 225 45s. Now these are Dynamos, which are a Thai tyre brand, and they were a fraction of the price of the Toyos, but they are aerated for wet grip, so we'll see how they go. Rated to 186 mile an hour them as well, so we'll see how we get on with them. If they're not brilliant, then they weren't even 50 quid each, so yeah, we'll give them a try. Show you something on the Tech 2 here. I've been told by the guy I bought this off that I need the Saab program to get security access. Now oddly, you need to take 2006 for this. It doesn't come up as 2008, even though that's what the car's registered as, so who knows how long these sat about for. Maybe they built them all in 1 year and it took them 4 years to sell them. So there's our codes there. Generator F terminal, that's not anything. It's those two there. I need to clear these out of it. I'll switch the ignition back on for it. And it's not going to clear the codes for the gearbox because it's a permanent fault. There you go, codes cleared, control module not added. Now if we try to add the control module, it's going to ask us for security access here, where we'll have to plug the Tech 2 into the computer. And there may be aftermarket diagnostics that can do this without needing security access. There you go. Disconnect the Tech 2, power up, connect to TIS 2000. So we'll go and do that now. Return to task, which we won't be able to do, but I'll show you anyway. We're going to have to return to this. I'm getting an error report from TIS2 Web, but there's the Tech 2, and you need this funny little cable that goes from USB to serial port to the RS232 cable, which goes in the side of the Tech 2, and then down here is the mains supply for it, which you need an American power adapter for. But it's not working now. It was earlier, so we will return to this. Also, this laptop is Windows 7, so it's really, really old. You need an old laptop for this. Kind of annoying, really. I'll have to go and ask the guy why it's doing that. Right, well, I guess with the Cadillac, I'll go and get it MOT'd, get the brake discs fixed, and see if I can get some diagnostics to go and re-add that module, whatever's gone wrong with it. But it drives okay, even though it's saying limited performance. It doesn't have limited performance, so I can live with that. These are the seats out the rotten CD. Didn't know what to do with them really, but Bob loves them, so she likes to chill on them outside the front of the house, don't you? Because you're totally part feral.